Hello there, 7th graders. This is Mr. Kashi speaking. As you can see, I won't be in today, but we'll go through the notes here for the beginning of Chapter 10 here together on the video. If attendance hasn't been taken, please do so. That should be our first order of business. And then number 2, the majority of our time will be taking notes on graphing points and 4 coordinates. It should be a review from 6th grade math. And you should have plenty of time to work on your homework, which is in the form of a worksheet today. So let's go straight to notes. We're taking Cornell notes as usual. Follow along. Once again, I do have a time limit on this video, so in case you need any extra time, go ahead and pause it and then restart it whenever you're caught up. Okay, today's notes is on 10.1, which is graphing points in 4 quadrants. Okay, put today's date in the upper right hand corner. If you happen to get stuck at all, please refer to page 486 in your textbook. This is 7th grade math with Mr. C. Draw a line there. Once again, if you need some extra time to put that header down, go ahead and pause the video. I got to split it up 1/3, 2/3. These are going to be my key points, and my notes are in the main body of our notes, of our notebook. Okay. The first key point, we're going to talk about the parts of the coordinate plane. Parts of the coordinate plane. Okay, so hopefully you guys know what a coordinate plane is. You've seen it before. It's pretty much any 2D surface, but we always split it up a little bit so it's easier to see. We split it up and down and left and right. We call this the x-axis, and we call this the y-axis. Okay, so those are your two main parts, but then we also split it up into a couple of different things. Probably the most important part is that you know that where the two axes cross, that is called the origin. Okay, origin meaning a place of beginning. Then we, as you can see, there's 4 main sections of this coordinate plane, and they're all called quadrants. Quad meaning 4. There's 4 of them, but there's a actual sequence in how we number them. Up here, this is quadrant 1. We number them using Roman numerals, so it's an uppercase I. Here is quadrant 2. Quadrant 3 is down here, and quadrant 4, which is capital I and then a V. So those are the main parts of the coordinate plane that we have to understand in order to communicate with one another what we're talking about when we're talking about equations and other things like that in algebra. Next key point is going to be naming and graphing points. Naming and graphing points. Okay, the first one you've probably seen before, just to review, the ordered pair. X, Y is what we would call an ordered pair. And we say ordered pair because it's going in alphabetical order. X first, Y second. And when you get to 3 dimensions, they actually bump it up to X, Y, Z. Okay, so what I would like you to do is draw another coordinate plane. Pretty simple. And then I want to show you how I would like you to label your coordinate planes every single time. Okay, so as soon as you put your 2 axes on there, I just want you to give yourself a little bit of a reminder. X there, Y at the top. And then what I would like you to do is I'd like you to put a little plus by that X, a little minus by that Y, a little minus on the left side, and a little minus on the bottom. This should give you Oh, it should be a plus up by the Y. This should give you some vantage points to help you remember, oh, in quadrant 1 they're both positive. In quadrant 2 the X is negative but the Y is positive. So what I'd like to go through is and actually show you how it's going to look for each ordered pair. So in quadrant 1 the X is going to be positive and the Y is going to be positive. In quadrant 2 the X is going to be negative and the Y is going to be positive. In quadrant 3, any points that we plot in coordinate 3, they're both the X and the Y are going to be negative. And then finally in 4, the last remaining option, our X is going to be positive but our Y is going to be negative. Okay, and these little things on the end by the X and the Y on either end of our axes is helping us remember which one is positive and which one is negative. Okay. Once again, if you need extra time, go ahead and stop it. No harm done. I do need to move on to our first example, though. I would like to draw a line right there, out in the key point. That should be example. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply give you some blank ordered pairs like this. A, B, and C. And then I'm going to plot some points, so you're going to want to write these down. Draw your coordinates, or draw your axes, I should say. X, Y. Alright, and then I'm going to put 3 dashes on each one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, rather simple coordinate grid. Okay, and I'm going to put a point right here. Call that A. Going to put a point right here. Call that B. And then I'm going to put a point right here. I'll call that C. And hopefully you can understand the transition here, going from a coordinate grid down here into an ordered pair. So if we start at the origin, which we always start at the origin, let's do this ordered pair for point A. As you can see, we went in the positive direction of positive X direction 3 spaces. So we're going to put a 3 there, and then we did positive 2 in the Y direction. Okay, we knew that since it was in quadrant 1, they're both going to be positive, and the ordered pair for point A was going to be 3, 2. Okay, I'll do B in green. Okay, if we start at the origin, we have to count 1, 2, 3 to the left. Okay, so that's going to be a negative 3 for B, and we count only 1 space up, so that would be a positive 1 in the Y coordinate. So the ordered pair for point B would be negative 3, 1. And then finally, for point C, starting from the origin, once again, we're going to go left in the negative direction in the X direction. We have negative 3 for our X, but we also go down. We also go down 3 in the Y direction, so that should be negative 3 in the Y as well. So the ordered pair for point C would be negative 3, negative 3. I'll give you a sec to try and wrap that up, and then we'll go on to your last example for notes today. All right. One more example, and then off to the homework. Our example, I will give you the points now, and then you need to plot them on the coordinate grid. Our first point is going to be D, which is 1, 4. E is going to be negative 2, 1. And F is going to be 3, negative 2. Those are your points, and we should be drawing a coordinate plane. Okay, and then I take a look at this and I can see that, well, 4 is my biggest number on there. So I'm going to want 4 dashes on my coordinate grid if I'm making it on my own. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is all I'll need. Make sure there's 4 going in every direction. Okay. Then we'll plot D in blue. Starting at the origin, we go 1 to the right, and 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So our point would be right there. D is our point for 1, 4. Okay. E I will plot in green ink. E, we start at the origin. We go to the we go to the left. Okay, so that's -2, -2 in the x direction, and we go down just 1. Oh, actually, nope. Sorry. Excuse me. We go up 1, +1 there, and our point for E would be at -2, 1. And then finally, for our point F, since this is a positive and this is a negative, we know it's going to be in quadrant 4. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. That's a +3 in the x direction, and then a -2 in the y direction. So we're going to put a dot right there, and that is going to be our point F on our coordinate grid. Okay, so we didn't have a chance to go through any practice examples while I'm out, but hopefully you can see how going from a grid to finding the ordered pairs of a point and then flipping it around to actually giving you the points and then plotting them on the coordinate plane. There, obviously in math we go one way and then we flip it around and go the other way, and so we just did both directions here in 2 examples, and once again you didn't get much practice on your own. But today will be a worksheet. If you have 10-1 worksheet, choose one. You have the reteaching or the practice. You choose one, have it completed, bring it completed for class at the beginning of class tomorrow. I will be taking any questions that you have then, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Stay safe. Keep your stick on the ice.